Oh, hi,
Natalie,
Kristen.
hi.
Hey, girl.
Hi. So lovely to see your face.
So lovely to see your face. We are back.
I know. It took a minute.
It took a minute. We have been busy, busy ladies.
Ladies rocking around the world. But
Life
I,
has been lifing, but we're excited. We're back. We've got a really hot podcast summer for y'all.
yes, and we got some hot summer plans as well.
We have some major hot summer plans. So you want to stay tuned to this podcast and our upcoming podcast because we have something that we are creating especially for our podcast audience and our other audiences. But this is something that has been brewing probably since we first became friends and it really has been cooking for the last year. And now we're going to do it.
And I would say this, and I'll just say it's a pilgrimage, just as a little hint, that this
Yep.
pilgrimage has been knocking for a while, and it has been getting more and more pronounced, and it is saying it is time.
And I think, much like all of life, I think I hear many actors, artists, creatives. I hear a lot of people right now being like, it's time. It's time. It's time. Like, for whatever the thing is, it's like, if it's all going to fall apart, I'm going. If it's all going to miraculously turn around, I'm going. Whatever circumstance is doing, I am no longer going to wait for ready. I'm no longer going to wait for the timing to be perfect or anything around me to coordinate to make it easier for me. It is time to do it. It's time to do things. It's time to go. And so I think that this particular pilgrimage is very in alignment with sort of opening and also stabilizing that energy for all of us right now.
Yeah, and I keep thinking about in a great story, what you do is you up the stakes as the story goes along, right? And you get to the point where the stakes are the highest they can be. And I feel like that's the moment in human history we are right now, where everyone's like, oh, the stakes are the highest they can get. Like, whoop, urgency to allow ourselves to fully step forward and let our souls drive. It's like, what am I waiting for anymore?
Yeah. And it does feel like when systems feel completely out of control, or when it feels like, the tower in the tarot deck, when it feels like that moment where everything is getting hot. And really, right now, this like summertime is the season where like everything is burning, everything is the brightest, the most light, the most energy, and it feels like the pressure cooker energy. And it's in those moments where there is an opportunity for a renaissance. There is an opportunity for what has never been before. And it often requires simultaneously like burning away what cannot possibly come forward in this new embodiment. Like, if I am going to stand for a new life, if I'm going to stand for a new level of awareness, stand for a new level of abundance, stand for a new level of who I be in this world and how visible I am, then there are necessary things that are going to have to burn and go away. And there are necessary things that are going to have to get called forward and cultivated. And I think in both of our experiences of what we have been going through with our own careers and the alchemy that's happened inside both of our careers, in especially recent months, but really the whole time, is it's really been this opportunity to say, oh, the creativity and the art is the thing that's going to move this train track forward.
Yeah, it's already happening. Like the art, I feel like, is emerging through us as a call from our souls of what is possible and what we yearn for, right? It comes from our unconscious, it comes from this deep desire. So the art itself is saying, I have an idea for you. And so all of us as artists, I think we're at that place where we're like, oh, those limits that used to hold me back, those cages that I kept myself in, the limited ideas I had of myself or what was possible in the world. There's something bigger than the old shackles.
Yeah.
There's this hope. There's a desire for beauty. There's a desire for community, and it's coming through our art. And it's also this art that's coming through us right now that's birthing new parts of us into being is asking us to be in a new way. So, like, what I find in my life is my body is like, don't you dare hustle. Are you doing that old thing where you're trying to hustle and push? No, no, stop it. Like, get in alignment, baby girl. I know that was your old way of being, but we have something for you, and it's just more delicious. And the
Mm,
art, the inspiration requires a different way of being in your body and a different way of being with life.
yeah.
So we're going to ask you to dismantle some of the old ways of being so that your experience might be more joyful as you're birthing a more joyful world through more joyful creation.
Yes, yes. I always go back to that quote Danielle Laporte says about you can't have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It's the idea of like hustle is not going to take you to flow. You know what I mean? One of my mentors, Nanny Leah Diamond, always says the energy that you create with is infused in the creation. You know,
Totally. Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's like if I am just beating myself up as I write my script or as I do my audition tape, then when that thing gets sent off into the world, it is just filled with those codes of am I good enough? Please validate me. Please prove this is worthy. Please and that then becomes not the highest level offering of that a human can do. You know, we've got offerings like needs of the personality that go all the way from the most basic. We have the need to survive, you
Yeah.
know, and then we have other needs, and we're using our art and our creation to try to fulfill those needs. And those needs are things like, variety, adventure, challenge, and things like having certainty, and things like having significance and having connection. But the highest level that you can play at is not creating something from survival or creating something so it makes you feel significant.
Yeah.
It's creating something from the two highest values are growth and contribution. So I create this as an avenue of growth, both for myself and for whoever receives it. And I create this as contribution. It's my contribution, my gifts, my talents that I stand behind, that I am offering to something to fulfill a need outside of myself. And also, it's what the ripples of that contribution can create beyond me once it's left my hands. And so when we're creating from hustle or creating from survival or creating from please validate me or please prove I'm good enough, that is a whole different channel than these other places that the art is really demanding to be created from right now.
Right. It's like life is asking us, are we willing to retire the old ways of being? And I feel like I am so like raise my hand guilty of creating from the desire for survival. And I think that's in us, right? And it's in our capitalistic way of being. And it's so funny. I feel like I've been saying to cast for years in the rehearsal process, the energy with which we create this show, the show will be infused in it. And I think it was like I read something where Marianne Williamson was talking about the same thing of like whatever we have in this rehearsal environment, whatever we're doing with each other, the audience is going to feel that. And when I was just in LA and we were doing Millennials or Killing Musicals, I remember telling Nico, who is my composer, I looked at the rehearsal schedule. There were 3 weeks to put it together. And I was like, Nico, this is not enough time. We're not going to get it done in time. I need 4 weeks to stage a new musical because there's so much we're figuring out. But something happened in that room where we were in the energy of delight as we were creating it. I was like so in love with the cast. I was so in love with their gifts, with their choices, that they were just making me laugh and giggle and be in awe every day. And every day, it was like we went into a time portal where things moved so fast, and we had staged the whole show in 2 weeks. And I turned to Nico and I was like, I guess I'm wrong. I guess I don't understand what's happening. But I realized, oh, something in me had changed. My vibrational state had changed. I was having a good time, which is interesting because I can look back to other situations where I was in the rehearsal process and I wanted it to be good or I wanted it to be successful. And so that intention was just it was like misaligned. And it and you it's like it has to be in my body is what I'm learning. Like I can have fun in this moment. I can actually be successful in this moment depending upon what my intention is, right? So if my intention is just to be present with you and to be as honest as I can in our dialogue, like that is something I can do and be like, that podcast was a success. But it's when when I am trying to create an outcome or create someone else's response. It has to be in my own body because then I know if it's happening or not. Then I know if I'm in alignment.
Yes. I just did this with an audition the other day where my rep sent me this great audition. It was a couple of episodes in a series. Great, awesome, so exciting. A great role, really appropriate for me. I was like really was excited to do it. It looked awesome. And as I was reading all the breakdowns for the whole episode, there was like this other role. You know what I mean? Like, and it was like a heart zing. It was like I just kept looking at this other role, being like, I want that. Like, I want to do that. I want to live that. I want to be that. Right. And it was like kind of no offense to the one that I had, like still grateful for the one I had, but it was a pull. There was an energetic pull to this other thing. So I reached out to my reps and I said, do you think we could also get an audition for this other thing? And they're like, well, we'll ask, you know? And so off I go to start working on the first audition. And the next morning I wake up and they said, well, we never heard from casting. So we're just going to assume that's a no. I'm like, I was like, I'm not going to assume it's a no. And I was like, more thinking like, if my heart is really lit on fire by something, then the old story I have to let go of is I'm always on the outside looking in. I'm never the person it works out for. Whatever those old stories are. I was like, I feel connected to this and I want to do it. And I'm not doing it so the casting director ever looks at it. I want to do it for me. I want to do it because I want to live this. I want to feel this. Like you said, the presence in my body. I want to say these words, even if it's just in my own bedroom and nobody else ever sees it. That's how called I feel to this. So I asked my reps, I said, do you have the material for this character? And they said, yes. And I said, can I have it? And they're like, I guess so, here you go. And I did it almost like as a cold read. It was 4 pages, it was 3 scenes, it was a lot of material. And I like instantaneously dropped in. I filmed it literally just for myself. It was amazing. I felt so good doing it. It just felt like this character, whoever this was just flowing through me. It was easy. I had fun. And then when I was done, it was like, it was done. Like, take the lights down, like, with no actual intention of doing anything more with it. And it was maybe a minute after I finished filming it, my manager said, Natalie, you have an audition for that other character. Casting just reached out and said, yes, we'll see her for the other role. I said, great, here's my tape. She's like, what do you mean, here's your tape? You just got the audition. I'm like, I know, I already did it. But I didn't do it like the trick of it is I wasn't doing it to try to manipulate the universe into giving me what I wanted. I wasn't doing it to then try to force the casting director to see me. I wasn't doing it with any intention of it ever seeing the light of day. I did it because my body wanted to experience it. It was complete. The fact that it opened further than that was not so much a surprise to me because I've been playing the game of the universe long enough to know that these miraculous things can and do happen when you're aligned to them. But it was more like, oh, that didn't even matter. Like, it doesn't matter if I book it. I just wanted to live it and I did. I gave it to myself. And I think that sometimes as artists, we trick ourselves into thinking that we are only powerful if someone else co-signs on it.
That's right. And I love that story so much for so many reasons. And I love it because you did it because your body wanted to. There was something energetic inside of you that said, oh, this is going to feel so good. And being willing to listen to that kind of intelligence. And I get so excited about the intelligence that is not in our brain. We can't figure out our way into it, but it's in our body. Because doesn't it make sense that, like, the source of love would put a GPS right inside our physical apparatus that we can go, ooh, oh, I feel drawn this way. I feel turned on this way. I feel like I'm being called this way. I feel like I'm being led. And that you got to like listen to like your soul signature and follow what lights you up. Like it's so beautiful. And I feel like it's a new owner's manual that we're
Mm.
downloading together as a collective of, hey, there's this new way of being and operating. And it isn't from the mind and it's not from like scheming and strategizing. It's this very feminine way of receiving our good. And it comes through our body in a felt sense. And
Mm.
we're giving ourselves more permission. You know, in in my musical, God Sex Musical Theater, there's this whole line about I've been afraid of my own feminine. You know, I don't trust my own feminine. And I think the way that we don't trust our own feminine knowledge is when we don't trust our body and we don't trust the wisdom of our body and we don't trust that soul signature, that energetic vibration that says, "Ooh, I have information for you." And and I also think that includes where we have sadness come up in the body or anger come up in the body or sadness come up in the body, can we be willing to be with that information too and let it inform us and
Yeah.
let ourselves be with that and be like, ooh, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to reveal? What are you showing me? And I get really curious about as we start to tune in to this new way of being and start living life in a more present, embodied way, where will it start to take us in our collaborations, in our relationships, in our art? And
Mm.
I'm remembering this like one download that I got once where it said, the new world comes through you. It comes through your experience. That we would find it in the moment through the creation, like when you're making a piece of art. You find it in the moment. Like, of course, you're going to go to a film set. You're going to make all your storyboards, but you also know that if something happens in the moment, sometimes you have to abandon your storyboards and go with what is happening, and that what is happening is always king. It's always the thing to pay attention to. It's always what you align yourself around. And so I get really curious about that in my own maturation process of where am I still trying to force an idea of what I think something should look like versus being in my body and allowing my body and my body's experience to inform what this moment wants to be.
Mm. And that is just a deep level of surrender. I feel it's always there and it's always available. It's our fear of what happens when we don't feel all the way in control of it that actually just causes us to miss that intelligence. And I talk to a lot of the actors that I mentor a lot about, an apple tree doesn't birth itself on the planet or get birthed on the planet without the exact mechanism and intelligence of how to make apples. It
Mhm.
doesn't show up here and have to read apple self-help books. It doesn't have to like look at what the other apple trees are doing and like figure it out. It's like there's an innate intelligence of this is what you're here to be. And so there's nothing in the apple tree that gets in the way of producing apples or being it which creates apples. That's just what it is being, and it doesn't have the mind to overanalyze it or sabotage it or procrastinate it or all of the things because it's in full surrender to I know what I am. I know what I am, and the wisdom of what I am is is inlaid in me. It's implanted in me it's in the seed as it grows. It has all the intelligence. And so I often think as creatives, as artists, just as humans in general, we live in this way where we value this much of what it is to be a human. It's like I value the good stuff. I value the stuff that makes me feel good. I value the stuff that makes me feel happy. And anything that looks like sadness, anger, grief, like no, we don't value that. We don't want to feel that. We don't want to go there. I just want to go where I feel good and comfortable. And so it's like if you're keeping your channel of humanity this open, then know that the intelligence that can come through that is pretty limited. But if you open yourself up to the full experience, it's like whether you're comfortable or not, whether you're happy or not, it feels to me that a lot of peak performance talks about the only difference between someone who truly becomes like a peak performer at the highest level and someone who doesn't is their ability to not collapse when it doesn't go their way. Their ability to stay with it when, we think about the Knicks game 4. It's like they were down. They were down. It was not looking like it was going to go their way. And in that moment, what it is to be the highest level of your craft, whether it's a basketball game or something you're creating as an artist, when there's no evidence to support you, when there's nobody cheering for you, when it looks like you're invisible to your industry, do you fall for that story or do you stay in the creative impulse? Do you stay in the innate intelligence? And those who sort of rise in this peak performance paradigm are those that no matter what's happening, they hold the vision, they hold the intelligence, and they just keep like the apple tree just keeps making apples. The apple tree can't control the weather. It can't control the season. It can't control the crops. It can't control anything other than it just keeps making apples. And I think for all of us, it's like, I am a sentient being. Can I keep feeling my feelings? Can I keep opening up to feel more? Can I open myself to feel deeper? Can I open my creative channel to more information? Can I be a vessel for something regardless of the audience, regardless of results? And that's where it's like you get this like quantum creator impact, I think, where you're not only assisted by your own intelligence, I think you're assisted by cosmic intelligence, divine intelligence, ancestral intelligence. I mean, I think that just opens everything.
Well, I'm so glad that you brought up that subject because I had a request. I had a request from a client who we were talking about the support we get from the other places. And this client started having taps from beyond and from specific people who had been on the planet before. And like it felt like some blocks of information were coming in regarding a story. And she said, yeah, I was hoping you and Natalie would do a podcast on it because whenever anything is happening in my life, usually you do a podcast on it. And more, I am having clients who are doing ancestral healing, and the conversation with their ancestors is coming through their work. As you know, if you've been listening to this, like since my dad passed, not only does he talk to me, but sometimes he like creates through me or wants to write through me. And one of the things that he showed me once was that we're not alone, that after like especially our ancestors past, they don't just say, okay, you have all the wounds, you have this crappy planet, or I love our planet, but all these systems that don't work. We're not just handing you the bag and saying, peace out, you deal with it. We're working with you beyond the veil to continue the healing.
Mhm.
We are working with you at the same time, and we are available for assistance. So open up and receive us, because I do believe that all the other entities can't come through without us saying, yes, come. I am open and willing and receptive to your help and to your guidance.
Yes.
And that when we open up and say, okay, come on through, write through me, sing through me, dance through me, create through me, help me with my business, help me with my message, help me communicate, help me get over my fears, help me to see the world differently, show me, reveal it to me. They're like, thank goodness, put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. And it's a really fun way of being. And so I feel like there's something inside of me that just wants to say, we don't have to do it alone. There's help around us at all times as we're going into times that we haven't seen before, that there's guidance available to us. And in the same way, I believe that art is sentient, like art has an energy and a life force that is also communicating to us and through us as we create. Like, I really do believe that art does the work through us. And I believe that we get assistance from all sides. Anytime I've ever created anything in my life, there's too much synchronicity happening for me to think there's not something so magic happening. And it's happened over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's why I'm like, that's why I see the world the way I do, and I believe the way I do, because of the evidence, because of my lived experience. And so I feel like it's an exciting time to be creating, because I think there's a lot of people talking about this kind of assistance that
I
we,
agree.
yeah,
I really agree. And I think, I've been doing this for years. Every time a great artist, a great actor passes, I say, thank you for your contribution. And I know in this world, energy cannot be created or destroyed. And if there is a need for a vessel to receive any of that talent, I am available. And I mean it sincerely. Like, if you need someone to take the torch of any roles you didn't get to play or anything that didn't get to be lived, I'm I'm available, because why not? Why not? Are we not all in this together? Are we not all here to create together? Are we not all here to evolve the storytelling together? And knowing that there is an army always of support behind you. I just ran a women's 10K race the other day, and there was this moment where there was a little bit of a hill, and so we're running down the hill, and I could see thousands of women in front of me running, and I could feel thousands of women behind me. And that's what our life is. At any given moment, there's this little race that we get to run, and there are people before us, and there are people that will come after. And we're just here to take that torch and to be a vessel and to be available. But when you feel in that moment, when I felt thousands of women all moving towards the same goal, I just started to cry. I'm running, but I'm crying because the energy, so much of it we can't see. If we could see it, we wouldn't know what, like, it's so unfathomable how much support is around you listening to this podcast, wherever you are in this moment. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of souls and energies with you, around you, lifting you up, behind you, having your back at every second that you are alive and beyond. And how can we, for a moment, just tune into that and remember that so it bolsters our courage to say, I get into deep growth and deep contribution when I know it's not just about me. And when I know that I'm a vessel for something greater. And I know that if I make myself available, the level, the the absolute level of what wants to show up for me and with me and through me will always bring me to my knees.
Oh, always. And I want to offer a practice that anyone can do where they can just set the timer on their phone for 3 minutes and breathe and get relaxed and open themselves up to feel that magnitude of support and that magnitude of love and that magnitude of wisdom and care, and just know it is here. And so, even though we can't always see it, we can open our bodies up to feel it. And then, once we feel like we have just a hint of that frequency in our bodies, we can allow ourselves to move in the world from that frequency, from that energy. And it's a whole lot more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anyone is interested in exploring and cultivating in an evidentiary way more of the years and years and years and years and years of support that is here for love and for creation and all the things that you're here to do. This brings us to our special surprise pilgrimage. And we're going to tell you more about this to come, so stay tuned. But there will be an opportunity to join Kristen and I on a very sacred walk, a very sacred moment where we actually encode and code forward these exact embodiments and energies so that as you move forward with everything you create, you've got a whole lineage behind you.
Oh, I'm so excited about it.
I know
Oh,
we're
so
teasing
much.
you, but we'll tell you more in the next podcast.
Now, on that same tip, Natalie, do you have any offerings that you want people to know about before we sign off here?
Sure do. I actually have something that I'm really, 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 really excited about. I am going to be offering a 21-day actor activation online course, and that is going to be happening in July. So if you are interested in that, it is a very low commitment. I am going to be dropping every day for 21 days. I'm going to be dropping activation codes to activate yourself as a creative artist, as an actor. And it's a whole rewire and reset in terms of what you're attracting versus what you would like to be attracting. And it's going to be pretty potent. And that is all going to happen online. So you can do it in your own time. You can do it from anywhere. And for 21 days straight, you're going to get coaching from me every single day about how to unlock some of these energies. So you can email me, and that'll be in the show notes. My email, natalielynroy@gmail.com. We're going to be starting in July. And so I would love to have you if you're interested in joining me.
Oh, that's so good. I can already feel how just how alive people are going to feel in that activation. And then moving from that place, what they're going to be able to create and allow to be created through them. That sounds so exciting. So thank you, Nat,
Juicy,
for that.
juicy. Yeah. And what
Um,
about you?
well, I am opening my story space. So, my story space collective, which I've been doing some form of for about 20 years, it's such a deep, sacred space. And the work that is happening Like, if you came here to do something that is so in alignment with your soul, and maybe it terrifies you because it is so vulnerable and so precious, and you can feel the power around it, and you feel like your body has just been saying to you over and over again, I need to make this. I need to make this. And maybe it scares you because of the power that you can feel inside of it. This is a collective where we hold the vision for each other of like the depth of the power of the projects that we're creating and the knowingness of what they came here to do. And it's like we are birthing these containers of healing that come through our art, and we're doing it together, and we're talking about the process of what happens and what comes up as you do the process. So it's I've seen so many miracles and transformation happen inside this container, and it's a great honor of mine to get to provide this to people, because of the potent things that happen inside of it. I have a gazillion success stories I could share of people making the work, but honestly, like the joy of mine is just to get to witness and benefit from the work that is being created. So
Mm.
yeah, if you go to my Instagram, you can find it in my link tree.
And I think especially right now with the level of noise, the level of ways we can get distracted, the level of ways we can take in information and quote unquote evidence in the 3D that our story doesn't matter and what's the point and what's the use. Focusing in on a incredibly supportive, intimate container that is going to actually encode for you the opposite feels like one of the most powerful things someone could do right now. So I'm glad you're doing this again. This is so good.
Thanks, Nat.
And then you're going to join Kristen and I in August for another fun surprise.
For a fun surprise. I love how we're teasing this out. So, we are going to record a podcast next week. We're going to drop all the deets. And until then, you can start dreaming up what you think it is and see if you're right.
And as always, thank you for listening. And if this was impactful for you, please do share it with somebody who matters to you, who you think could benefit from this conversation.
Much love. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for being committed to showing up for your dreams.
If you would like to know more about what we are up to or find more information about our podcasts, upcoming retreats, or anything else, please go check out our website, www.thecreateseries.com.
And you can come and jam with us on Facebook. I know, we're still on Facebook. We have a Create community page, and that's Create C.R.E.A.T.E.
And if you want to check us out on Instagram, you can find me, Natalie, at Miss Natalie Roy.
And you can find me at Hangy Love. That's HANGGILOVE.
Keep on rocking your dreams, and we can't wait to connect with you more.